Good evening and namaskar. Thank you for having me here. Thanks again to Elets Group. Um, I've been uh, involved in a lot of events done by Elets in the past. And before I talk about the subject, let me place on record my appreciation for all the efforts being done by Elets under Dr. Ravi Gupta. I think you guys have been doing maximum number of events on NBFCs across the country. And that has done a world of good for the development of this sector. And we at FIDC as the industry body recognize and fully appreciate your efforts in this regard. So, friends, so let me straight deep dive into the subject. So when you say NBFC 2.0 or NBFC the next chapter or NBFCs in Viksit Bharat, I know that's the flavor of the day, everybody talking about Viksit Bharat. Before I give my perspective, let me share something which has come from the government from the top. I'm sure you people must have read in the media about the recent NBFC symposium that happened 2 days back on 9th of July at the Bharat Mandapam. We at FIDC were, of course, one of the coordinating bodies, and yes, I had the fortune of being present there. So let me give you, since I'm here, we are all here in an event done by a media house. So, quote unquote, let me try sensationalizing things. Sensation number one. This was the first ever, let me repeat, the first ever symposium slash conference slash seminar slash summit organized and hosted by Government of India, Ministry of Finance, which was only and only focused on NBFCs. This has never happened. 33 years to mujhe ho gaye in the NBFC sector. I started my career in the sector way back in 91, in fact, so it's almost 34 years now. And you all know it was only 97 the sectors actually came under the regulatory framework. Prior to that, it was all free for all. So never ever this has happened. So that's sensation number one. Sensation number two, who all participated in that event? Of course, chief guest was none other than the Honorable Finance Minister. And let me add that it was her desire that there should be such an event done for NBFCs where she wanted to be present her. So this came from the top. Finance Minister, Minister of State for Finance, Secretary, this was obviously coordinated by the Department of Financial Services at MOF, all senior officials of DFS, including Secretary Mr. M. Nagaraju. And in addition to that, they had invited some very interesting people. All CMDs or EDs of all the 12 public sector banks were there. Chairmen, senior EDs from SIDBI, NABARD were there. About 35 odd NBFCs cutting across all the three layers, upper layer, mid layer and base layer, and about 25 odd MFIs. So this was the total gathering there. Now you can imagine this conclave happening under the aegis of Government of India, this symposium happening, how important and itself a sensation in our history. Sensation number three, I've told you the NBFCs and participants. Number four, in fact, which was not very much highlighted in the media. FM Hustle spent exclusive 1 hour. We had a closed door interaction with selected about 15-20 people. Of course, industry bodies, MFIN, Sadhan, FIDC, and few NBFCs, RBI, ED, were there in a closed door interaction, 1 hour, discussing and brainstorming on all the concern areas. And in her opening remark, FM just mentioned one simple sentence: I'm here to listen to where do you guys need our support. That was her one sentence, which said it all. That's another sensation. And then the biggest sensation of the day was FM's address. Let me urge, in fact, request and even plead to all of you, since you guys are all from the NBFC sector, if you have till not yet heard it, it's available across, it's there on YouTube, it's there across various social media handles. Please go and listen to full FM's address. Now let me give you a few pointers what FM said, Finance Minister of India, Not Raman Aggarwal, not FIDC, not anybody else. Finance Minister talking. Number one, NBFCs are no more shadow banks. No more fringe players. This is FM saying. Number two, now this is the real icing on the cake, and I mean, I can take this liberty to say that. She literally advised all public sector banks to learn credit delivery from NBFCs. Can you ever expect that? It was FM saying it on a public forum, being telecast live on media. It's there on, you can see it on YouTube. And what she said was, she quoted some figures. She said that 2021, the NBFC credit stood at 24 lakh crores. That was just when we came out of the COVID times. And March 25, RBI data shows the NBFC credit doubled to 48 lakh crores. And she said that in 4 years' time, if the NBFC sector can double their credit delivery, in one of the most challenging times, considering the global geopolitics going around, and we all know, and also including the fact that we ourselves went through the general elections. In spite of that, NBFC doubled their credit contribution. Then she said, today NBFCs have reached a target of 25% of the total bank credit. So these were some of the landmarks she said. And that's why she said PSBs to please, and she even went on to say that please, the tables have turned now. Earlier we used to tell people to learn from banks. Today I'm asking you people to learn from NBFCs. Then next, even a more important point she said, because I know I need not say everybody sitting in this house would know, what is one major ask, if I may ask you today, for any NBFC to the policymaker? I think it's liquidity. Correct? Everybody wants liquidity. So she had a point on that. She said, I am really surprised. Once again, this is FM talking. I am surprised that all public sector banks every year are falling short of their priority sector lending targets. And very quietly, you people go and deposit that money to NABARD. And that ultimately comes back to DFA secretary. So what is the use of that money? And on the other hand, here are guys who are short of money. They want credit. So she instructed all public sector banks that, you know, every public sector bank, one of them is a lead bank in every state. That's how the banking is done. So she said that you guys in every state, whosoever is the lead bank, please go back and organize a forum. You call all the NBFCs of that state and work out modalities, partnerships, in what way you can use that funds through these channels to reach out to the priority sector. So your liquidity issue gets addressed, which has been, मतलब मेरे बाल सफ़ेद हो गए ये इस issue को raise करते करते, right? Then another most surprising, pleasantly element she said, she even instructed RBI. Raviji, I'm taking that liberty. I presume there's no one from RBI. Hoga bhi to, I don't care. Okay? She instructed RBI to please start a system where, if not every month, at least once in 2 months or once in 3 months, have an open house with NBFCs, where any NBFC can just walk into RBI office on that particular day, at that particular designated time, and raise their concern, also share the market report with you. Now, this is something I personally have been attending pre-budget meetings for last 14 years now. FM's काफ़ी finance ministers के आगे हम ये plea कर चुके that please provide us with a platform where we can engage regularly. So she clearly instructed RBI to start a procedure of having open forums, right? Then she also gave us a target. So it was finance minister giving NBFC sector a target. And I think this target now needs to be carried by all the MDs, CEOs sitting out here to your teams. She said, I want you guys now to double this 25% to 50%. At least period hai, if not, at least by the time we are Viksit. So she said, you guys, she said, if in 4 years you guys can double it, this you can do it. I'm sure you can easily do it. So that was a target given to NBFC sector. And she also quoted from IMF report. And where IMF has clearly recognized the fact that it is the NBFIs or the NBFCs in India whose role in credit delivery, especially reaching to the last mile, is something which cannot be overlooked. In fact, they are playing a key role. So these are pointers. So I think this should be exciting enough for all of you to go back and please listen to her address, whatever I've said. And there were, of course, certain other words of advice and caution to NBFCs also, where she said that don't chase growth at the cost of being responsible, meaning your business practices have to be ethical. She also advised to ensure that whatever reduction in our cost of borrowings due to enhanced liquidity measures taken by RBI, due to the rate reductions done by RBI monetary policy, or also due to the reduction in risk weights announced by RBI, please ensure those interest rate reductions are passed on to the ultimate borrowers, to your borrowers. So this was some of the advice. So please go back. So I thought, let me begin by saying not what Raman Aggarwal says, but what the Finance Minister of India said 2 days back. So this is enough, at least for me, to give so much food of thought. And she's also requested NBFCs Federation to come up with a vision for the Viksit Bharat, what NBFCs see their role in Viksit Bharat. So we at FIDC are now brainstorming, and we do propose to get into that activity and come up with a vision document for the sector. And we would seek all your support in that regard. All your inputs are going to be most welcome. Okay. So this is as far as the FM said. Now, since we are talking about NBFC 2.0, next chapter, Viksit Bharat, etc., etc., what are the key points in mind? Obviously, let me tell you, whatever anybody says, one thing is for sure. The road ahead is going to be a road of partnerships across all lenders, be it banks, small finance banks, rural banks, cooperative banks, small finance banks, NBFCs, MFIs, DFIs, you may name, जिसको RBI REs बोलता है, regulated entities, right? Now the all REs अभी तक were working in silos. Now the era is going to be partnerships, and without partnerships, none of the REs can actually achieve or meet the target which they have set out for themselves. And of course, we've had some good examples in the past. Co-lending is, of course, and co-lending is something which, let me tell you, both Government of India and RBI, and at least Government of India is heavily pushing it. And you would know RBI has already issued a draft circular enhancing the scope hugely of this co-lending arrangements. So the partnerships are going to be the odd flavor of the day going ahead, not only restricted to co-lending, it could be any. In fact, that is where we need to innovate. What other forms of partnership we can develop with the other regulated entities. So that's number one. Number two, I need not say, we are sitting in a media house driven by technology. We like it, or people like me with white hair may not like it to that extent, but technology is here not only to stay, but go deep and gain roots into our everyday lives. So NBFCs cannot be averse to tech. Obviously, when you talk tech के अवतार्स बदलते रहते हैं. The latest flavors are the AIs and the MLs, right? So that has to be part of your operations, of your systems. More importantly, I just say this more from the industry perspective, the small players or the base layer companies. That era of filing one return to RBI, two returns to RBI, and that's it, that's all your regulatory responsibility is going to be over. I'm saying this on two accounts. the way I foresee how regulatory and supervisory mechanisms are going to unfold going ahead, but also why, because we at FIDC are also going to be after you now. I'll come to that in my later part of the address. So get ready, tighten your belts, upgrade your technologies, techs if you have not done so, and be ready to report more. When I say report more, it could be both in terms of quantity, in fact, three aspects: quantity, quantum of reporting, quality of reporting, and frequency of reporting. All three are going to go up going ahead. Whether you want it or not, you like it or not, ye hoga. And you have to do it if you want to grow and survive going ahead. So please go ahead. If you've not done so, start talking to people in the tech era. You can talk to your peers. You can talk to people there. And as I said, we in FIDC are also coming up, which I'll talk about when I talk about FIDC. So that is going to be another very key player going ahead in NBFC 2.0 or new chapter or whatever. And of course, what else NBFCs, where is the future scope? Undoubtedly, there is still, it's an ocean, whether you call it the unbanked segment of the society. There are very fashionable words used: unbanked segment of the society, underbanked segment of the society, small borrowers, rural areas, tier 3, 3, 4 towns, individuals, illiterate people, whatever you may call them. But I hope you all know, I did not tell them. Another term which defines all is the bottom of the pyramid players. So it is that segment which we all cater to. So there is enough ample scope still left for you guys to give more and more credit. And of course, MSMEs is a broader term now being used. And I need not say, you all realize the another most important opportunity going ahead. And I've also always used this phrase that वो एक बहुत पुरानी मूवी, बॉलीवुड मूवी आई थी एक दूजे के लिए. I have always said that NBFCs and MSMEs and NBFCs are एक दूजे के लिए बने. Your future lies there. MSMEs and MSMEs future lies in you, because that's another data point which shows that NBFC credit to MSMEs is 2 or 3 times faster growing as compared to banks. So we are best suited to fund MSMEs. So that's one pair. And the next most important area of business opportunities for you guys is going to be green financing. That again, fortunately, NBFCs have already taken the lead. Today, government also realizes, everybody realizes that it's the NBFCs who've taken the lead, like many other opportunities in the past, to be the first movers in this field. So NBFCs are already in there, and there is ample scope there. Of course, let me share that we at FIDC have been having extensive discussions with World Bank, with Niti Aayog, with Government of India, Ministry of Road Transport, MSME Ministry, even some of the industry bodies like the Society of Indian Automobile Manufacturers when you talk of electric vehicles. So there's enough of discussions, policy decisions happening. I can quickly tell you what is the discussion all about. So what we are saying is that just like government came up with a PLI scheme to kickstart manufacturing of green assets in India, like the EVs, etc. Similarly, there needs to be some policy scheme or measures at the apex level, macro level, to kickstart financing of these green assets in India. Because the risks are new, we all know, right? And a lot of risks are still unknown. And it's always said, unknown enemy is more dangerous than a known enemy. So kya hone wala hai, we don't know. So some kind of policy support. So whether that policy support comes by way of interest subsidy, credit guarantee scheme, or an exclusive fund of funds, or there could be a pooling of the FLDG mechanism, whatever. So that's one way of doing it. Regulatory support by giving some kind of extra benefits or forbearance or whatever you may call, whether it's terms of allowing one-time restructuring or some special prudential measures is another way, which regulatory support. Funding, I told you, some exclusive fund of funds to be created. And then also the most important aspect is going to be how do various stakeholders talk to each other. So it's the OEMs, the manufacturers of those assets, the financiers, the insurers, and the users. They all need to sit down, and the policymakers, regulators, because a lot of things are going to be played out when all they talk to each other. Because any fund, any asset which you finance, it is the residual value or the market value going ahead which matters a lot, and that standardization can only come when various players sit together across the table and debate and discuss. So this is how green financing is moving towards. Of course, I restrict myself to green asset financing because the other aspect of green financing is the financing of green initiatives, which is a slightly big ticket game and a long-term game, which typically is not the NBFC model, although there are some of the large NBFCs or some of the government NBFCs are also getting into it. So that's another one big opportunity waiting. If you have not started venturing into green financing, I think it's already time, maybe even you're late, but still there is time to at least start thinking about it and get more into it. That's going to be one huge opportunity coming for you, especially those who are into asset-backed lending. This is going to be a massive opportunity coming ahead because we know the kind of targets which the government has set for the various players. Finally, this is how the roadmap is laid. Now let me talk about the sector. So I don't know how many of you are aware, people who would know FIDC, of course, we've been in existence for more than 20 years now as the industry body. Till now, we were a representative body or an association. I'm pleased to share that FIDC has been given in principle approval by RBI to be the SRO for NBFC sector. So we have received that in principle recognition to be the self-regulatory organization for NBFCs. That means apart from MFIs, there are already two SROs. MFIN and Sadhan are the SROs for MFIs. There is another SRO for the fintechs, which is the FACE. So for NBFCs, it is going to be FIDC. Why RBI has not made a formal announcement? Because they have given us an in-principle approval. We got it in just April and May first week. And there were a few formalities which need to be completed. So we are on the verge of completing that. And post which we hope to get the formal approval, wherein RBI will also issue a formal press release. But having said that, we've already received an in-principle approval. Now, what does it mean? What it means is few things. As an SRO, FIDC henceforth becomes the extended arm of the regulator. But let me clarify, we do not have any authority or powers to take any action or, kind of penalize, nothing. Our job is to report, right? So that's why when I said we are going to be after you to ask for more and more data. And RBI expects us to collect real-time data or at least very frequent data from various players in the sector. So that's one aspect. We are also, that's why the entire board of directors of FIDC had been restructured. RBI wanted us to have 1/3 as the independent directors, and the definition of independent directors was those people should not have any active connection with any NBFC. So we've roped in some very eminent people cutting across senior retired CMD of banks to like Mr. Mallikarjun Rao, to retired RBI officials like Mr. P.K. Arora, to some of the great legal minds like partner Khitan and Company, tax expert Mr. Dinesh Kanabar. And we've also roped in educational institutions. So IIM Nagpur, Dr. Maitri, who's the director at IIM Nagpur, is also on the board. So this is how the structurally it has been changed. And I have taken charge as the CEO of FIDC. We are now going to open a small office in Delhi also. We have an office in Mumbai. And for your interest, we are going to create sectoral committees. So there'll be a committee looking into MSME financing, there'll be a committee looking into housing finance, there'll be a committee looking into gold loans, committee looking into green financing, and there will be an exclusive committee on base layer, small companies. Because it is clear in our mandate, and we also have 2 people on the board who are from the base layer. And base layer is most important for us, the smaller players, because upper layers guys don't need much support. But anyway, they are also our members. So we're going to have sectoral committees. Already those are being put in place. And as I said, we are going to do a lot of data collection. So more and more data collection reporting to RBI is going to happen. And that's why I would finally make an appeal and a request to all of you sitting here that if your company till date is not yet a member of FIDC, it is in your own interest to immediately do so. You are free to contact me anytime. It's a very simple procedure, 1-page form to be filled, and some basic, very basic documents like RBI certificate, PAN, etc., GST registry, etc., to be submitted, along with the fee. And fee for base layer companies is very minimal. If your asset size is below 100 crores, you just have to pay 5,000 rupees a year. And if it's above 100 crores and below 1,000 crores, you just have to pay 25,000 in a year. So that's that small. Of course, mid layer is 2 lakhs and we can do it. So that's how the sector positions. So I've told you a picture of what Government of India says going ahead, picture where the sector opportunities lies, and the picture where we as industry body are going to be in future. So enough food for thought. Finally, I would welcome you all to be part of FIDC and strengthen our hands. And that is where we can ensure. Of course, let me put in a word. I'll be failing in my duty to say that, as I said, Raviji has been doing a great service to the sector in terms of organizing these events. And we at FIDC have made sure that we partner in all the events done by Elets Technomedia. And that partnership is not only going to continue, let me assure you, it's going to strengthen much more going ahead. So thank you.